What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribable, aka Jerrilyn Lake, checking in with my bestie for the restie.
Lynee Monet, and you are listening to the She Said It First podcast and Urban One podcast on the Urban One Podcast Network. Period.
You already know. Now we back with another episode. It's Taco Tuesday, of course, so we got a lot of festivities, parlaying going on in the city. But I know something had to irritate you this week, friend. So we're not gonna hold any no holds bar. We're gonna jump right into it. What irritates you?
Girl, what I don't like is you being like, if you pay for a service, people think that you shouldn't say anything. Like, that gets me tight, right? It's a lot of things going on. People feel very entitled around me right now. But I'll talk about this one thing at the nail salon. Okay? At the nail salon, I don't understand how y'all get y'all nails done. Y'all see they look terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You go through 10 whole fingers of looking terrible and don't say a word, baby. Go right up to the cashier and pay for the whole thing. Oh, even leave a tip. Even leave a tip. Okay, and then you get in the car and you put that phone on, be like, y'all, I hate my nails. Look what they did. Why you ain't say nothing when you seen them nails looking tragic from the beginning? I can't believe you let them people sit there and play in your face like that. And I would never do that, Jerrilyn. Every time I pay for something, I'm always going to speak up and speak out. I don't care if I paid you for something, expect to hear from me. I don't care nothing about it. All this entitlement, you should just get whatever I give you. Baby, if you're not doing a good job, you gonna hear about it. And that's fine. And it's okay because I didn't know what you was capable of it before. But now that I know, okay, I shall move accordingly. And all you gotta do is tell me you don't know how to do it. And we could find something more simple, you know? But when you go ahead and act like you know everything that you're doing and I'm not satisfied, then why you mad at me? You should be mad at you. This is a you problem.
Girl, they don't be wanting to let their money go. And my thing is, the more money I spend, the more vocal I'm going to be. I'm not...
Hello?
The money entitles me to speak up. And if I don't like something, then I just don't like it. And that's going to be that on that. And I feel like people got to understand when I pay for a service, I want exactly what I paid for. If I don't get what I paid for, we're going to have a conversation about it. And we're going to figure it out. Because if I walk up out of here without paying you, you'll be mad, right? Hello? Same way I'm mad that I paid for a service I didn't get. I think that's more than fair, and people need to understand it. So, girl, I think you're right on the money this week. Now we're gonna circle back and we're gonna talk about these other people that feel entitled. I'm gonna call you after this.
Oh, for sure. Please give me a ring. Please.
I feel like somebody paying with my friends, so we're gonna have to get that stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get it together. But I love you.
Okay.
I'm right here with it.
As long as it's not me, girl. Just text
me
and be like,
never be you.
Friend, it's you today. No, but girl, okay, so let me tell you what irritated me this week. I cannot stand having to eat my words.
I know. I'm the same way.
So
what happened?
Friend, you're not gonna believe this.
What?
I wanted to wait to tell you on the show that I am pregnant.
First of all, because one thing about it is April Fools. You're gonna have to come harder than that. You're gonna have to come harder than that. Because I know good and God well. I know you better than that. To think that you will make an announcement, to come on this platform and make an announcement.
Oh, girl, that was a good one. I had to get that off my chest. Happy April Fools, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about them children. F them kids. F them kids. But all jokes aside, I hate when people do the most on April Fools. Like, bro, if you want to just celebrate a made-up holiday, okay, cool. Do something look cute, funny. But why are you calling people, pranking them, telling them that they finna lose their house, or I'm coming to get your car, like I'm repoing your car, crazy stuff like that. I think that people just be going too far with the, you know. And you know me, I'll fake a little pregnancy here and there, but
yeah, I mean, that's the normal one that everybody do. It's like, I'm pregnant, y'all, with the fake sonogram pictures and stuff, you know, that whole thing. But I did see April Fools on one of them blog channels talking about that Trump just passed the thing for us to get $1,200 in stimulus checks. Girl, people was pissed in the comments. They found out that it wasn't real. Because you know that's why they voted for him. They said he gave me $500 in stimulus checks, so why wouldn't I vote for somebody who gave me whole $500? That's so much.
Girl, $500 don't even cover living expenses. That, you know what? And see, this is what I'm talking about right here. You got to relax on the April Fool's jokes because now I'm mad because I just remembered that y'all voted for this man for a stimulus check.
And was prized. Like, he the only one who ever gave us stimulus checks. He the only one that
And
gave
it
us
wasn't
$500.
him. And it wasn't even him. The people that was
It
talking
wasn't.
about that, you know what? Y'all not gonna ruin.
Sorry.
Y'all not gonna ruin my Taco
Friend.
Tuesday. Y'all not gonna ruin my Taco Tuesday. I done got my pregnancy joke off, but we about to talk about something that's even crazier than April Fool's. Friend, you got to ask me.
Girl, what happened?
I'm glad you asked. Oh, Bishop Marvin Sapp has come under fire for literally closing the doors of the church. Now, I know that we've never seen this happen ever in the history of Christianity. It's never happened.
Right.
I know we've never seen this before.
Right.
But during a conference, the attendees were asked to donate, just $20. It was enough people there. They said, we're trying to raise 40 bands and I need y'all to give $20. Now, the problem came in when Bishop Sapp said, we're going to lock these doors. Ushers and deacons lock the doors. And I'm going to tell you, that's when I would have started swinging on people because I'm claustrophobic.
And was it a donation or was I held at ransom? Because I definitely feel as though
it's given kidnapped. So let's hear what he has something to say about it. But let's take a look at the original clip because everybody is saying that it can be interpreted a lot of different ways. But let's hear straight from Bishop Sapp what he said.
Okay.
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I actually think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife Melinda P. Sapp was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine.
Oh, thank God that's over. Thought we was gonna have to go through the date.
Because I don't care what you bought that lesson. Juju beans and popcorn. We don't care, Bishop Marvin Sapp. Here's the thing. Never would have paid it. Never would have paid it. He's a fool.
Hey!
You done lost your mind, Marvin.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, friend. That was extreme. I don't know how people can agree with that method. I heard you say there was a split difference and some people feel like he did the right thing. I think that there are other ways that you can get money within the church. There's other fundraisers. There's other things you can put on. There's also ways that people can just donate voluntarily. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was the aggression behind it. Like, lock the doors. Lock the doors. Lock the door. Like, why are you so aggressive? You're too aggressive to be in this church. Like, it's too aggressive to be in church.
People are saying that, and I grew up in church, so I understand how sometimes movement in the back of the congregation can disrupt the flow of service. I do understand that. And some people were trying to make that case for him. But what I feel like initially what needed to happen was he needed to clarify why we closing these doors. Because if you say, we finna give some money, ushers, close the doors. Honey, it sounds like you're sticking us up. It sounds like put everything you got in the bag, put your hands up, no sudden movements. That's what it sounds like. And so once you left that open for interpretation, now people are able to come in and say, oh, he trying to force people. And here's the thing. If there was a justifiable reason for why he wanted those doors closed, at the end of the day, the Bible says that the Lord loves a cheerful giver, not one that's giving under duress, not one who feels obligated or coerced to do it. So I think that, he said something about it. He responded. He said that it wasn't what it was supposed to be. And so I think we have a clip of him on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell on so I think he said something. Let's check out what he had to say in response to this. Because I need some type of explanation.
Yeah.
And, sadly, we live in a day and a time in which,
everything is about clickbait, and people are making money, sizable amounts of money off of non-truths. And this is an excellent example. Now, Usher 101, there are 3 times you're not supposed to move in the church. Number 1, you're not supposed to move during the altar call. Number 2, you're not supposed to move during prayer. Number 3, you're not supposed to move during the offering. We just know that. And it was like mass hysteria in the back of the convention center, and it was just really bad. So, I understand if people were offended by my tone. That was never my intent to offend anybody by my tone, but I was just being assertive. I'm a bishop in the organization that I was preaching.
Right. Yeah. Here's the
And
problem
I was
about
telling
the
people to do
offended
it.
people.
Good, because I don't want to hear what she was finna say, and I love Erica, but my
I
thing
do
with this
too.
is, sir, I understand, but I have 2 issues. You cannot force people to be in anywhere.
Right.
If I'm walking out of a church, that means I just withdrew consent to be in this facility, a congregation, convention center, whatever it was. That means I withdrew my consent. Now you shutting the door and locking me in there. Now you're holding me against my will. That's number 1. Number 2, you think the Holy Spirit can't move because it's a couple of people in the back stirring like church? Like, come on. I feel like you're underestimating the power of the Holy Ghost. Do you believe or not? Because I understand that there has to be a certain order of things. But once somebody decides, suppose I need to breastfeed my child. Suppose my grandma is having a accident or something, and you done said can't nobody move because you need your $40,000. Well, sir, okay, so let's say 15 minutes go by and we don't get 40,000. Then what?
Then what? You got me still sitting here because they're gonna say, I just feel like it's another person in the room that want to give $1,000. We just wait on that one person to come down and give that $1,000. That can go on for another 30 to 40 minutes, just waiting on that one person that you feel like is going to come down. The other thing that I also don't like is how people blame social media for the way that they conduct themselves behind closed doors. It's good that it was recorded, because the fact that you feel like this is acceptable when it's not being recorded is the problem. You feel like you can talk to the congregation any kind of way because it's not being recorded. Nobody will ever know. They won't know your tone. You would have never made an apology or even addressed it if we didn't see it. The public had something to say about it because you think that that's okay and it's not. You still don't understand where it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's bothering me. Stop blaming social media for the way you treat people behind closed doors. It needed to be recorded. It needed to be recorded. People needed to see how you speak to people when it comes to you getting $40,000. Once again, it's not your church, as Erica said. That's not your church. It's not your congregation. Why were you so mad?
Yeah, honey, if them folk want to do it, I think one of my issues with this whole church, everybody has a little bit of church hurt sometimes, especially when you grew up in it. And so me coming from a strong Christian background, I understand why people turn away from the church and they never go back. And I promise you, I love a good Sunday morning, listen to the pastor, get some word in me, fellowship with other people. But stuff like this is why I don't want to go, because these same people will ask you for $40,000 while your lights are being cut off and your children are hungry and they don't have food supplies and you don't have a vehicle to get back and forth to work. And so they're like, the church is supposed to be a place where people can come to be healed and to be made whole, but it's not becoming that. It's becoming a for-profit institution, which is crazy because it's a business, but it operates as a 501(c)(3). And so I'm sorry that I had
No, I feel you, friend. I feel you. No, I love God. Okay, you don't love God.
You don't love
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
Okay, I love the Lord. We like this. Me and Jesus Christ. Period.
Right.
But also the issue is simple. Like, I have an issue with people feeling like we still in a certain times where you're not supposed to move during this time. You know what I mean? That was his whole thing. Like, you're not supposed to move during. Everybody don't know. We're living in different times right now, y'all. You got to go with the program. Like, all that old school singing hymns out the book, it's not the same anymore. And a lot of times you're not going to be able to conduct yourself. You know what I mean? You can do what you want to do at your church. Once again, it's not your church. At your church, you can do what you want to do, but at somebody else's church, you're a guest. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they was using him to push the envelope of getting that $40,000, because it seems like he may have maybe getting a piece of it. I don't know. The way he was so passionate about it, it just didn't feel genuine or like the spirit was moving in him. And I think that's the part that people don't like. is that there was a part of that where it didn't seem like God was leading it.
You're right.
And people not going to stand behind it.
Right. I think you're nail on the head. I think you said everything that needs to be said. And to your point, times have changed. Things are different now. But one thing that never changes. My God, my God. I'm not even going to make a joke. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. God never changes. And I think people have to understand. I know that the church needs money to run, and I know that these conventions need. How about you take a pay cut of your speaker's fee? How about you do that? Since you care so much about the Lord's people, how about you take a pay cut? Don't get a Rolls Royce. How about that? How about that? Leave that Rolex at the store. How about that? That's my 2 cents. And I've always
because what if he would have been like, you know what? I'll drop the first 5,000. I'll drop the first 5,000 to get us that closer to the 40K. I would have been like, hold up, wait a minute.
That's what motivated me. I would have said, you know what? I think I do got an extra dub in the pocket.
You feel me? Like, lead by example.
It's in the car though. Let me run and go get it.
Let me go to the car.
You got
grab that $10,000 check out the trunk, and
you got to let me run to the car and go get it real fast.
I'll be right. Wait on it. I'm gonna be right back.
Right. As long as you open those doors. Oh my God, Lynee, you are stupid. Okay, so we got to talk about something else that people think is okay and it's been getting a pass. And it's absolutely not.
What?
Young men and older women. Okay. I think it's glorified. I think a lot of men specifically praise these types of situations, but sexual assault against young boys is not discussed the same way that it's discussed against young women. Girls, I'll be specific, girls. These are not young women, they're children. So rapper YG just released his new song 2004, where he basically detailed being sexually assaulted by an older woman. He said that he was 14 and the woman was 30. Knowing what he knows now, he said the reason why he, didn't trust women is due to the trauma that this older woman caused him when he was a teenager. So I think, of course, this is a very eye-opening situation. Now, as a woman who has dealt with sexual assault as a child, I'm not surprised by this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think women who endure this on a regular basis are surprised.
Yeah.
I think men want us to stand up and fight for them in times when they don't always fight for themselves. And I think, and I'm not talking about the 14-year-old boy. I'm talking about the older men, the 20-year-olds in the barbershop thinking it's funny to make jokes about, I was knocking down so-and-so when I was in 8th grade and all this. Like, it's not funny. It's sexual abuse. It's assault. It's statutory rape. It's not something that it's not, you get like, what do they call it? You get notches on your belt for doing stuff like that. It's not something to be proud of. So I don't know. What's your take on it, friend?
I mean, I commend him for coming forth, because it's not usually, like you said, that perspective. It's always a glorified perspective. It's always like, I lost my virginity at 15 to a 25-year-old, and I think men don't even equate something like that as sexual assault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you were just raped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't put 2 and 2 together. And I think it's good to have a man come forth and talk about, hey, this actually wasn't right. And it actually did some damage to me, because guys are not good at expressing their emotions. Like, they suppress so many things that go on with them and make it normal. Like, they normalize things that should not be normalized. And then it's like, you get in front of people or get in front of somebody else like YG, and they saying, yeah, this wasn't cool. And now you're like, hold up, that happened to me too. Like, wait, it wasn't cool. Like you said, when I went to the barbershop, I told them, and everybody was like, I know that's right. But let a girl come in there and talk about how she been having sex or having relations with a 60-year-old man. Everybody would call her a hoe. They would slut shame her. They would, pretty much, her parents would lock her in the house and tell her she can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Where it's just this double standard for, men and women. So I commend him for bringing light and saying, actually, we've been going through the same thing, all of us, men and women. We've actually been experiencing the same thing. And there is no double standard in this. A grown person having sex with a minor is wrong and should be registered. Like, is she registered?
That's a good question. I think that's a good question. This is information that we don't know, because did he ever go back and press charges. What's the statute of limitations on something like this? Like, this is why it's so hard for people, victims of sexual assault, to come forward, because by the time you realize you were sexually assaulted, you might be out of time to report it. You might can't go back and, there might not be no DNA. Maybe you showered or whatever the case is. And then especially when it comes to young boys, they see it as a rite of passage sometimes.
Yeah.
And so like you said something very important. A lot of times they don't even make the connection. They don't even know that it's sexual assault. They think that they're just doing something that they're supposed to be doing. And when you're surrounded by people who constantly say that and immersed in a society that makes it cool and, like that's part of you becoming a man, kind of. It kind of validates your manhood. Like, I'm not surprised these kids be confused and don't know, and they grow up to have I wouldn't say weird relationships with sex, but they grow up to not understand how to show up sexually in relationships or how to nurture relationships to the point of physical intimacy. And so I think,
or be completely like over sexualized. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why they do that. They are over sexualized, which is why they're in these situations. And so that, like,
agreed.
I wonder what do you like? I don't want to ask a dumb question. What can we do to fix this? Because obviously, me personally, I think we got to put these people to sleep for good. Men, women, all of them. You know what I mean?
No, for real.
Put them to sleep.
I agree with you, but what I realized, and this is male and female, that people still protect them. I wish y'all would start saying their names. Yep. Y'all need to start saying their names. This is what you need to do. It's still a level of protection when things happen to men and things happen to women and like gruesome, horrible things. They still be like, but I ain't gonna say their names. I'm still not gonna tell y'all exactly. I would say their name. Like, and if it ain't true, then take me to court about it and let's fight about it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm defaming your character and none of this is true, then let's talk about it in court. But people still protect them. And I think the protection needs to go out the window when you start telling your stories. That's what I think.
Well, a lot of people can't afford a legal team to properly prosecute. A lot of people don't want the public backlash of, a lot of people are, you got to think, some people are from small towns where everybody already know your business. And so if I say this person did something, it's going to make the whole family look bad. And that, like, we put more shame on the victim than we do on the person that y'all still let two-step at the cookout, is all I'm saying.
That's crazy, Jerrilyn. And I understand what you're saying. I still don't care. Like, that's messed up. Like, that's so
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I still don't care. You're not about to have this dirty sleazeball coming to the cookout, babysitting my kids, or thinking he gonna talk to my kids when I come in family function. I need to shun him. I need to make him just as uncomfortable as I am. I want him to feel the same discomfort. Like, I'm not here to create a luxury lifestyle for you when you've been out here doing foul behind closed doors. I'm not with that.
I agree. Listen, I totally agree. You say expose them, I say put them in the dirt. That's because you have to think, like, I've seen many children and I thought, oh, she has beautiful eyes. Oh, I love her hair. Oh, he has the cutest smile. I never looked at someone underage and said, now, he can get it. And I think people try to put too much on mental illness. I think a lot of y'all are nasty and you ain't never had nobody tune you up. And the old folks know what I mean when I say tune you up. Okay, you ain't never been somewhere where you got circled and they was like, I bet you never do that again. Absolutely. Because for whatever reason, something told you that was wrong. And of course, people like to say, well, violence is never the answer. Ask white people. It's been the answer for eons. Okay? Yeah. White people love violence. So don't come over here and tell me that we're supposed to just pray about it. And because and let's talk about the church a little bit since we already was back there a little bit. Because these
are we going Catholic? Where are we going with this?
Let's go Southern Baptist. Let's go Bible Belt. Let's go Bible Belt. How these little girls get pregnant in the church and you shame them, you shun them, you want to put them away. But the pastor got side chicks in the congregation too.
Hello?
Let's talk about that.
And so I think, and the white be knowing.
And the white be knowing. And the white be knowing. And they be having kids in the, you know what? Let me fall back because I'm telling people business. But I think that it's just this rape culture, and I refuse to censor this word because I need people to know. Like, I know we're supposed to be trying to like keep it from getting flagged, but like it is assault. It is abuse and it is rape. And anybody who, especially if you're of age, you understand the power dynamics in a relationship. There are 35-year-old women getting duped by 40-year-olds. You think a child knows what they're doing dealing with a grown person? Sir, you're a rapist and you need to be locked. You need to be under the prison, and I mean 6 feet.
Terrifying. And then don't even get started on the priests. Y'all know about priests. Priests have a specific reputation in the Catholic community, and y'all still will drop y'all boys off to this man and let them spend weekends and weeks and every day after church with the priest. How do you know this information? I'm not Catholic. I know this information. How do I know this information? I'm not even Catholic, and y'all still dropping y'all little boys off to spend quality time with this man on a day-to-day basis. It makes me sick to my stomach, because not only is that person sick, but so are you. You too are the blame for this happening to your child. I don't hold no remorse there at all.
And I think that's part of the answer to the question for me, is why we don't address it the same way, is because we see it more from men. You know, typically sexual assault is not something that women do, often being victims of it. So we don't see it, you know, the same way. But
or hear about it. Maybe we just don't hear about it.
We don't hear about it. That's a better way to phrase it. We don't hear about it. But a lot of men are going through this. And so I think that it's important for y'all to know that you can speak up too. And I know that it's difficult, because when you do try to out your abuser, they try to tarnish your reputation, discredit your story. They try to humiliate you. They shame you into silence, or they try to pay you off and all these things. And here's my thing. There's not an amount of money. If I ever decide to name my abuser, you better know there is no safety net. You're going to get all of it, okay?
Yep. And I stand behind her.
You're going to get all of it.
Toes deep, because I'm saying your name. If she let me know, I'm saying
there ain't enough money, okay? There's not enough money to shut me up. You don't have enough. You don't have enough. I'm doing, if someone is being silent, I hope it's because it's what they choose to do and they're not ready to share their story. But like you said, I commend this rapper on speaking about it, because especially in the music industry, probably being assaulted is a sign of weakness. And we talk about this a lot. You know, it's in the music, how, you're going to let somebody play with you, do this and da, 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 da. Yeah. And when men become vulnerable, they bully each other for that. And some women do it too. And so I think that it's a beautiful conversation to be having. And I hope other people start having it in the barbershops and in their homes and around the dinner table. So we can hopefully put a stop to this foolishness, because you come around me, and if I know, you're going in the ground.
I'm telling you, it's over for you. Like, I know protection will be allowed. I'm telling you. And for those individuals, and especially men and women who have children, protect your kids from this. Like, that's who you do it for. You know, outside of feeling like, you know, everybody's going to be against you, like Jerrilyn said, or, you know, they'll try to silence you. The biggest thing to me for you should be, I got to do this to protect my children. Because if I don't, they will go through the same cycle. So
absolutely.
Put it into it.
Absolutely. I think education is a big part of it too. Teaching children at younger ages, you know, what all of this is about. And, you know, great segue into another conversation is education. You know, apparently Toure is saying that Black men ain't going to college. So I'm trying to figure out what is he talking about, because is that the only way to the middle class? He made a post online saying that their attendance has been dropping over the past few years. And let's figure out what the cause of it is. But let's take a clip. We have a clip of what Toure had to say about Black men's college attendance. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Okay. Apparently, Black men are not attending college, and this is a horrendous trend. The number of Black men at four-year colleges has plummeted, and at Howard University, there are as many non-Black students as there are Black men. Howard is just 19% Black men. There's an array of reasons why this is happening, but the number one thing sociologists point to is something they call the belief gap, that a lot of young Black men don't believe that they can or should be able to handle college intellectually or financially. Guys, college is a critical part of gaining the intellectual skills you need to get into the middle class. Black women have known for years and years that they need degrees to overcome racism and misogyny and get as far as they can in life. And they have become the most educated demographic in the country. But leaving black men out of that trend means a lot of potential wealth that could go into the black community won't go into the black community, because people who could have become middle class professionals and intellectuals will not be able to make that leap.
What you think, friend?
I mean, so here's my theory, all right? But I ain't no philosopher guru. I just off the dome.
Come on, Confused. Let's give it to us. Come on,
This
Confused.
is what I think. I think that people have realized, he said in the last couple of years, right? So this is not over a substantial amount of time. When he said couple of years, I'm giving it like 2 or 3. And within the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen people have to fend for themselves due to COVID, due to a recession, and really kind of bank on entrepreneurship and be successful at that and easily become millionaires or, just financially stable. And so with the things that they want to do as far as like chasing your dreams or coming up with a business and being successful, you realize that you don't need that level of education to still be prosperous. And I think that's what we've seen throughout the years, is that Black men and women, because us too, Black men and women are leaning more towards entrepreneurship. And just because it's not on record that they're being educated doesn't mean that they're not. A lot of us still have to read a lot of books. We have to take in a lot of information. We have to do auto books. We got to do business school. There are other things that we're doing to shape and mold our business specifically. So me not going to college doesn't mean that I lack education. It just means I don't need that form of education. I'm kind of, I want to say, specializing my education around my own business and what's going to get me where I'm trying to be. That's what
Again, Lynee, I don't know if you took some kombucha before you got on this call today. But baby girl, nail on the head. That's all I was gonna say. I think that a degree from a 4-year institution is not as necessary for success as it used to be for our parents or the ones that came before them. And I think people are now understanding that college is a scam for a lot of reasons. If you are not becoming a doctor, an engineer, an attorney, if you don't need to specifically know the ins and outs of an industry to be successful in that industry, I don't think you need a 4-year degree. Now, of course, there's some caveats, right? There's some, like, I think what you said was, just because they don't have a 4-year degree doesn't mean that they're not being educated in some way. Right. And to your point, people have to obtain certifications to get certain jobs. So I might not be getting a 4-year degree, but I might have took 18 months to get this specific license to know how to do this, and this. And so that I think that's what people are understanding. It's not just Black men. I think this is my whole theory about Black women.
Here she comes.
Girl.
What you about to
Because I'm a victim, girl. I am a victim. Black women get bored and go get another degree, honey. I got plenty of them. And you remember...
Jerrilyn got a lot of degrees. I got one.
Oh,
okay, I got a bachelor's degree in sociology from Bowie State University. That's it.
Girl, you can't even tell what kind of degrees I got. I be on the internet clowning. But I am educated, But I also feel like... I didn't need those degrees to do what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. So I think, and this is not saying I don't appreciate my degrees, but I got those degrees because I wanted to have something on paper to let people know that I'm qualified to talk about what I'm talking about. Because when you're a Black woman, they tell you that you're not qualified regardless of, how much you know, how good you are at it, and how much money you've accumulated from doing said thing. And so I think, degrees just is another way for you to belittle someone. It's another way for you to make someone feel like they're not as good as the next person. And it's the same as the credit score. It's the same as putting race on applications for things. It's just it's an automatic disqualifier. Because at the end of the day, if I go apply for a job right now and they hire me with no education, they're going to have to train me anyway.
That part.
You're going to have to train me anyway. So I think, like you said, a lot of people just realizing it don't take a 4-year degree to do a lot of things. Y'all just want us in debt. I got so much student loan debt, and I'll never pay it. I'll never pay it. I don't care.
Still deferment, child.
I will stay in school until the day that I die. You'll never get that money. You'll never get that money. You're going to have to get it back in blood.
Oh, my God. Don't say that, friend. You putting a tag on your back. She was just playing, y'all. She gonna give y'all money.
I meant it. You never seeing that money. I'll take a class. I'll take one class every 6 months to keep them loans in deferment.
Look, if y'all listening, she just gave y'all a hat. Now, see, y'all would be laughing, but if you really listening, she just dropped a huge gem to keep you from having to pay off that debt.
And then too, like, girl, I'm a millionaire in my mind. God already told me my money is coming. I ain't worried about no little, however much it is. It's gonna get paid eventually, but I ain't gonna do it. By the time y'all get through playing in the government, somebody will be there and wipe them. No. So God is good, amen.
Playing in the government, child. You ain't never lied. Ain't never lied.
The way they just flip flop, girl, you'll wake up tomorrow and they be like, okay, well, y'all, we not gonna make y'all pay y'all student loans back, but if you own a house, you got to give us half the equity. Now, wait a minute.
What the hell?
That's
like,
just,
really, nigga?
That's just the foolishness that they got going on. Hopefully, none of that can happen. That won't be a doable thing. But let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about something a little bit lighter because I know we've been going a little hard today on foolishness. And I'm really excited to talk about this because the question is, what does intimacy mean to you in a relationship? And I think that I would like to talk about intimacy, not just in romantic relationships, because I feel like I have very intimate relationships with my friends. I have them with my parents. And I think intimacy is it's an all-encompassing thing. How about you? What do you think?
But what you mean by that? Like, give me some more. Like when you say like with your friends and your parents and like how do you identify or define intimacy in those type of relationships?
To me, intimacy is just a closeness. It's a shared vulnerability. So, remember when we was in Aruba?
What? No, girl, I remember Aruba. It's too much to remember. Okay. What if I remember?
Without giving any details, when we was in Aruba, I think that was a closeness that doesn't involve. I think people don't understand intimacy sometimes without physical. Like sex.
Sexual.
I think they don't. They think that the only closeness is a physical one, and I think if you call me at 2 a.m. and you crying and you telling me something personal and you showing your vulnerability, I think that's intimacy. Me answering the phone is being intimate with you. That's a closeness that we share because there are people that call me that won't get
right. It won't get through. Okay,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You calling me?
Yeah. So I think that's what I mean when I say intimacy in other ways, because it's not just hand holding and kissing and having sex. Sometimes it's just sharing your space with people. That's intimate to me.
Yeah, I love your definition. And I think that's why I was asking because, I don't think I ever put a definition behind that. Like I knew that exists and I can still see the intimacy with like friends and family and even like you having an animal, or a dog or like, kids and things like that. But I never put the definition behind it. So that's why I was asking like, what do you mean? And I totally agree 100%. I think intimacy is important to create like strong relationships.
Right.
Like you said, I wouldn't answer the phone for somebody you got through because I value you. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you got through calling me at 2 a.m. and I made myself available because I care about you. And that is intimate in itself. And I think that is important. Like, it's important because that separates people who are really your friends or like sisters and people who you consider associates. I think people get so confused with like friends and associates. Some people you meet, they're like, that's my friend, right? And I'll be like, that's not your friend. That's like, that's an associate. Yeah, like, that's it's like, she don't like you. She don't even, like, she don't support you and nothing you got going on. It's not even nobody you would tell your business to. It's nobody you would call up. It's not even somebody who would come to your house and stay in your space. And you consider them a friend. And without that level of intimacy, how could you? Right. How could you? Like, that's an associate. Like, I don't know. It allows you to differentiate and not get so confused just because you have contact with people all the time. That don't mean y'all on them type terms. So I think intimacy helps you put people in the right category.
Okay. I think I like that. I rock with that. So when it comes to, I guess, romantic relationships, have you ever been in a situation where you had sex without intimacy?
Yeah. People don't, when I think of intimacy, I think about foreplay. What are we thinking about? Because like, I have.
What? I'm right
sexy
now.
all day. I just hate when it's not sexy all day, and then you come in here and it's like, I want some ass. Like, it's just, where is
I don't want to give it to you now.
You know,
you got to
like,
prime me. You got to prime
yes,
me.
okay.
Because I think, girl, men can see. It could be somebody else titty on TV, and he got 2 seconds before he ready to jump on you, and I have to you got to let him know, baby. Have you talked to me today about how I feel? Do you know? Like I'm on my period. Did you get my favorite snack? How you treat my dog in my absence? I have so many questions that's gonna determine whether or not I feel like this physical connection. And I think they don't understand.
Jerrilyn, that's foreplay. To me, that's considered foreplay.
Yeah.
Like, all day you are worried about me, I'm worried about you. Like, in those moments, you making me want you. Like, caring about my well-being is foreplay because you care about my everyday, what I got going on.
That's
you know?
Ask me, did I eat today?
And if I didn't, just send some my way.
Send me the money.
Know?
Send me the money, guys.
Okay? You got money. Like,
I love
that.
That's exactly what I think. I think that intimacy is something that you have to constantly nurture. And sex is a part of intimacy. I think people try to equate the two, and that's not what it is. Sex is part of intimacy. Intimacy comes in a lot of different forms. And I think the communication, the closeness, the vulnerability, the shedding of your outside hard shell to let this person really see who you are, that's intimacy. And that can be shared romantically, that could be shared through transparency with friendships. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think men need to really tap into that intimacy with their homeboys. While y'all in the barbershop talk about who got the fattest ass, y'all need to be talking about, are y'all mentally okay, niggas?
Hello, because why don't y'all ever? It's like they just not built like that. Like they can't have them type of real conversations.
They're not.
With
it's not
nobody.
It's not about them being built like that. They were conditioned that way. If they chose to learn another way to communicate and to foster relationships with people of the same gender, it would be different for them. Because women have collectively a lot of, now it's still some of us dealing with these dudes, but a lot of women have said, oh, we just gonna be single until men get their stuff together.
Facts.
And instead of dealing with men, they've leaned into their girl friendships. They've started, spending more time with their family and things like that. Men don't even do that. They just sit at the house and be bored. They might call their homeboys, but what they do, get together, go to the club and wear the hose in. And so I'm like, why don't y'all do something different?
Yeah, I would love to see them do something different. You know what I mean? I ain't in them circles, but I would love to be a fly on the wall. But I'm not in them circles. Wish I was. I do wish that y'all could figure out how to talk about y'all emotions a little bit more. And I'm sorry. Why is my brain skipping a beat and I want to talk about something else?
Girl, go ahead. This is what we do. Don't censor yourself with me, friend.
I seen something, girl, with this girl on social media. Her name's Sarah B. Levin, right? And she used to be with this Indian dude. He used to own like a gas station, consignment shop, whatever, like that whole thing, right? She's a black girl. All right, they get divorced. She ended up dating. So now she dating this black dude. He's 42 years old. I think she like 25. So anyway, so she's talking to this 42-year-old dude. She's 25, right? And she's really popular on social media, like huge, right? Okay. And so this dude basically comes to her house, girl, knocks the door off the hinges and comes in and is like, you don't want to be with me? Why you don't want to be with me? What the you got going on up in here? And like, it's like somebody is there. It's like, no, don't do nothing to her. Like, what? What you mean don't do nothing to her? First of all, I don't even know you. I don't even talk to you for 9 months. I don't even know why you're doing this. Girl proceeds to get online and is bawling, crying. Girl, bawling, Jerrilyn, like snot. Like, I'm so sorry what I did to you, and I don't know, you don't deserve that. Them narcissists, the only ones who know how to get emotional when they need something back. Girl, a woman done come forth. Girl, a woman done came forth, Jerrilyn, says she been talking to him for a long time, girl. They were supposed to move in together and everything. Girl, why she showed the papers of them going to in vitro to get pregnant? Girl, you got to get on the ticket talk. This is real, girl. She got...
Girl, that's so crazy because that is exactly how some people are, and that's what honestly terrifies me about relationships. Because dudes will tell you, "I want to give you the world, I want to be with you," and whole time they taking some other girl to have her eggs frozen to like it's so crazy. Like what? Why are you? we misuse the word diabolical so much. We sprinkle it like parsley, but that is truly diabolical.
Yes.
It is
I'm
diabolical.
telling you. Yes.
And you know what will happen to you if you try that with me?
What happened, bro?
I got to put you down. I got to put you
Yeah.
on the ground. I'm sorry.
Damn. Yeah,
Because busting up in my house, making me feel unsafe, talking about why I don't want to be with you, and you got a whole nother girlfriend. Child, been there, done that, opened a bookstore about it. I don't want to see or hear it no more. That is so triggering. Why?
And so, girl, it's the craziest thing. And mind you, this seems like a really sweet girl. You know, she got a wild side to her, but she actually seemed like a really sweet girl. But when you see him, I wish I had this dude picture. Jerrilyn, when you see him, you know he's not well. You can look at somebody and tell they got like you know how you see people when they got like an evil spirit in them, even though they smiling, like they laughing. It's like
you can just tell.
Yes, like his energy is shifty. They got all these mug shots. I said, dang, I wish she would have did a case search on him because he got like 5-6 mug shots of him in domestic violence. Like he's crazy for real, like the real kind.
Girl, speaking of domestic violence, okay, so sorry, y'all. This is just me and my homegirl catching up. Girl, did you see comedian Kid Capri?
Girl, did you look at the video?
Unfortunately, someone sent it to me, and it was so traumatizing.
Jerrilyn.
When I say I looked at that and I said, I hope they wear him out when he gets to jail.
Absolutely. That man kept hitting her, even though somebody was literally covering her. Like the person was covering her, and he was going. I just don't understand the mindset behind it. And I even seen her video, not her video, but her photo of her face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I pray to God, because women listen to me. I pray to God she don't go back. That's the most scariest thing for me, to see y'all go through situations like this, and you have an out because he's in jail, and you go bail him out of jail, and then the cycle starts all over again. I pray to God that she leaves him.
Me too. And that's, narcissistic manipulation is something serious. Yeah. She probably got that man thinking that he paid the bills, and that's why he, like he probably do feel like he got some type of control or power over her in some kind of way. And I just want her to get to safety and never look back, because men like that don't change. And I guarantee you that's not the first time he put his hands on her. That's just the first time somebody set that camera up to catch him.
Oh,
that's what I think, because that camera was sitting in a place where it was like, it looked like it was maybe a bedroom, but it was maybe sitting off to the side. Mm-hmm. And so I think somebody was like, we're going to catch him and he going to be done. Because even when I looked at his mugshot, same thing you said, I looked in his eyes and I was like, oh, this nigga's unwell, and I'm not even passing this. Domestic violence is not, we're not going to excuse it because of mental instability. Right. Because there's no reason for what that man did to that girl. I don't care what she did, said to him. There is no justification for what he did.
Agreed. Like, there was no reason for you to put your hands on her. I 1000% agree. Y'all have to learn how to regulate y'all emotions. It's just starting to get scary because men are so emotional that they feel like it's okay to be physical, because you don't know how to channel that energy in any other way but that. Like, you can have emotions and talk it out. You know what I'm saying? You can vocalize yourself. You know what I mean? But the minute that you can't control your emotion to the point where you feel like you got to do physical bodily harm to somebody, what you say? Put them under the jail.
Under the jail. Isn't it crazy how they don't know how to show love? They don't know how to plan dates. They don't know how to communicate and tell you what they need, but they know how to show anger and rage.
Yeah, that is crazy.
The math is not mathing. You don't understand how to express yourself until anger is the emotion. Now you got that one down pat. And so I think that's a whole nother, that's a can of worms that we could talk about on another episode, because I think that men are only allowed to show aggression because that's what they equate to manhood and manliness and
masculinity.
Like and so, girl, I just pray that anybody dealing with something like that, I've had my little run in with domestic violence, and I can promise you it don't get better. Please leave as soon as you can.
Please leave.
Nothing that person is doing for you is worth it, and you deserve so much better. You never deserved whatever physical abuse these people are trying to inflict upon you. So hopefully you're able to get some help. Somebody can send you some resources, and you'll find your way through, because nobody deserves that.
Nobody deserves that. 100% agree with you, friend. That was nice. That was so sweet.
Yeah.
We were really hoping for y'all to get out of those situations. Sorry we had to leave so heavy.
I know.
Wow. What a way to lighten the mood. But
we gotta talk about something lighthearted real quick.
Yeah, like we can.
Oh, we gotta talk about the fact that we now have some new t-shirts for sale, don't we, Lynee?
Yes, we do, you guys. So if you was tuning into our last episode and me and Jerrilyn were just casually talking about hoeing, you know? I said hoeing is for emergencies only. You guys, like, it was such a moment that I ended up making some t-shirts. And so I feel like y'all should get the t-shirts and spread the word for those who need to know. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been seeing y'all hoe without no emergency in sight. Okay, no 911, no nothing. Okay, no bills are at risk or anything. Okay, so I believe that you should get the shirt. And we can go ahead and put it up here. You know, we're going to put it somewhere, put the link, all that stuff. Check it out. Make sure you get your hoeing is for emergencies only t-shirt. Spread the word.
Get your
spread
shirt.
the word.
I'm gonna buy me one too, friend. I'm gonna go right after this. I'm gonna buy me a shirt.
Yes, I got you, friend. All right, y'all. Well, on that note, okay, we're gonna go ahead and head out. As you know, we're gonna be here every Thursday. Okay, you can catch us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. All right, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know every time we upload.
Bye.